Hey Facebook, good to see you guys tonight. I have a question. Have you ever not done something for your child because you were worried about what other people might think or what other people said? Have there ever been times that you have actually not done something that you really felt like your child needed because you were afraid that you would be spoken of in a way that maybe you didn't want to, or you would be thought of in a certain way? Well, I want to share a story with you. My husband and I decided back in the 80s to do something that was extremely out of the box. It was something called homeschool. And back then, especially in the African American community, it wasn't something that a lot of people were doing. But God had really put it on our hearts, and we decided that we were going to try it. Well, when I mentioned to my family about, the fact that we were going to do this, my mom and dad, they just thought, oh my God, you guys have just lost it. You really have. You're going to do what? Because in order for me to come home, what I had decided to do was to quit my good government job and to begin to work part-time in my own business as a piano teacher. And they just thought that was, crazy. It was like, I was working on Capitol Hill, had the opportunity to continue to move up. And it just didn't seem like that was a wise move. But we really felt strongly that it was what God wanted us to do. But I tell you that what they thought about it caused me to pause and caused me to think and caused me to pray. But in the end, we decided that we were going to go ahead and step out on faith and come home and homeschool all the children. Well, when they asked us, well, why? Why are you going to do this homeschooling thing? The thing that just kept sticking in my head and that I kept talking to my husband about was we really were trying to figure out how to make sure our children had our values, had our beliefs, believed in the things that we believed in. And we figured out for our family that the best way of being able to transmit those beliefs was to homeschool them. My mom and dad were just flabbergasted. They just couldn't imagine why anybody would even want to do that. Who wants to be home with their kids all day? Who wants to quit their good government job and count on this part-time business of your own, not knowing how it's going to turn out? Who would do that? But when just something in your heart says, this is really what's best for my child, it gives you a level of courage to step up to the plate and do things you would not normally do. And so we started the process, and my parents, they didn't fuss, but I knew they were watching going, oh my goodness, this is so crazy. Until one day my mother saw an article in Charisma magazine, and it talked about homeschool, and it talked about the benefits of it. And she started noticing that our children really knew a lot of things, and they understood things, and they were excited about learning. And we were out here and there, and being able to go on field trips, and they were able to be able to shadow at farms and help out with the animals, and this just the things they love to do. We were able to actually give them hands-on experiences with that. And she began to realize that, okay, this homeschool thing might not be so bad. Well, I'm going to just forward fast to the end. In the end, each of our children was able to graduate from high school. So they were homeschooled from kindergarten through 12th grade. They were able to attend college. They were able to get scholarships, our oldest to American University. Our second born ended up graduating from Bowie State. Our firstborn actually graduated with her bachelor's and master's from American University. our middleborn from Bowie State. And our son, he did not complete college. He decided he wanted to go to work. And so he's a self-taught computer programmer. He actually is at a school now teaching computer programming, and he has his own business as a photographer. And so each of them kind of found their way in their own path as we were obedient to this crazy idea of homeschooling them. And so I'm sharing this story with you, not to convince you to homeschool your children, although if you wanted to do that, that'd be a great thing, but to let you know that when there's something pulling on your heart that's saying you need to do something different with your child, even if everyone else around you is saying, no, that doesn't make sense, listen to your heart. Listen to your heart. Thank you, Carolyn. Thank you for that. Listen to your heart, because your heart is telling you something. And in time, you will see that following your heart was the right thing to do. Uh-oh, you're getting bumped off again? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not sure why that keeps happening. So I want to encourage you guys tonight. I want to let you know, if there's something in your heart and God is saying, do that with your child, please don't let other people's opinions keep you from doing what God is telling you to do. The only thing that you will have in the end, if you don't listen, is regret. And regret is something a mom does not want to have. You don't ever want to look back and know that there were things that you should have done, that you felt like you should have done, and you didn't do because of what other people said. And so I want to encourage you today. Don't be afraid. If God is putting it on your heart, He will give you everything you need to do it, no matter how crazy it might sound, no matter how impossible you might think it will be. In the end, your child will be blessed because you were obedient. So my word to you is trust your heart. Your child is depending and counting on you to make the right choices. And in the end, whatever happens, you will have no regrets. And so tonight, I bless you, Mom. I thank you for being the advocate for your child. I thank you for being the champion for your child. I thank you for standing up even when the experts say something other, because you know your child better than anyone else. And so please, please, whatever you do, if it's in your heart for your child, do it with all your might and trust God with the outcome. All right, it's Anita Gibson, coach, speaker, educational strategist here. If you'd like to connect with me, check me out at AnitaGibson.com. All right, guys. Love you. Good night.